So, talking about the Oscars, we're talking about this division that has come about in our country between the elites and the people. And that division has always been there, but there used to be a commitment of the elites to the people. Lincoln talking about government for the people, by the people, of the people. That commitment is gone. I really feel the elites and the people are now so divided. This has happened in Europe, but it's happening here. And this is one of the reasons I think you get Donald Trump. So, they had this government shutdown, and obviously the Democrats got their butts kicked. I mean, Trump is really good at this. He didn't stand down. He knows who his base is. But the thing you have to remember about not just the Democrats, but the Republicans, is they're not on the people's side in this. A poll came out. A poll. Here is the thing we're talking about when we're talking about immigration. We're not talking about little Juan and how sad he looks. We're not talking about, oh, this man has been here and he served in the Marines and what a good person. There are all kinds of sad stories on all sides. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about three problems. Illegality, the rule of law, who decides who comes in. That's what the rule of law is about. We decide who we want, where they come from, what we need, then we let them in. That's on us. So the rule of law, these are the people who pass the laws. It's not too much to ask that they obey the laws and enforce the laws. It really is not. And when they start crying and when Chuck Schumer starts weeping over this one or that one, all I feel is, hey, you're a senator, you pass the laws, obey the laws, enforce the laws. The second thing we're dealing with is Muslims, and that's a shorthand way of saying people who come into this country who may have philosophies that don't adhere to Western values. And Western values are very specific. They have a history. They came from somewhere. It's not enough to come here because you need some money. It's not enough to come here because you can get a job. It's not enough to come here because they're chasing you out of the other country. You have to come here because you want to be an American. And Trump is absolutely right about this. And the third thing is people who take jobs from the lowest workers. Somebody said this, I wish I could remember who it was, in the Wall Street Journal yesterday, made the point that you can't on the one hand say, oh, we have these problems because automation is taking jobs away from the working man, and then say, oh, but we need more working men to come in and take jobs. It doesn't make any sense. It's one or the other. So these are the three things that people are worrying about. Now, Harvard-Harris poll, taken as the shutdown was just about to happen, found that Americans strongly support granting citizen rights to illegal immigrant dreamers, the guys who are already there, but they strongly backed President Trump's three demands for a border wall, limits to the chain of family migration, and an end to the diversity visa lottery. Diversity is not, by the way, our strength. Our strength is our creed, and we want people coming in who will live by that creed. The public demands a lower overall legal immigration. They want less people to come in legally. Americans want annual legal immigration capped at 500,000 a year or less, far lower than the current annual rate of 1.3 million. The survey asked respondents what level of overall legal immigration they would like to see. A stunning 35% said the level should be fewer than 250,000 people a year, okay? So all they talk about, because the media is part of this elite ignoring the voice of the people, all they talk about is the fact that 77% want to legalize the dreamers, but they don't understand that that is part of a package of saying, yes, these people are here, we get it, they made a life here, we get it, but close the damn borders. I mean, it is time to stop this. And the same, this is exactly what happened in Europe. This is exactly what happened in Europe. Year after year after year, the polls said, no, we don't want 1 million Muslim refugees coming into our towns. And the politicians would talk tough, and then they would let them come sweeping in and do nothing, absolutely nothing about it. And as a result of that, you get this very ugly bigotry, this anti-immigrant bigotry rises up, and the average American, the average person who just says, no, wait a minute, let's enforce the rule of law, let's think about this, is now standing next to a Nazi, and that gives the Nazi credibility. And you don't want that to happen. You want to deal with these problems before hateful feelings kind of blend with reasonable feelings.